Alright people, we are back with the JD's Garage CNC Plasma table, and we are moving right along. We're right now set up a cut file for our door for our enclosure. We did that on FreeCAD, and now we're just doing a dry run here. But this is our almost finished controller here. Take a look at that. Okay. So, some of the things that are different, and I think I went over them in the other video, is you could see we got our 3v3 bus. We have our individual 5-volt bus, our 5-volt negative bus. We have our grounding bus. We have another grounding bus here. You can see all our shielded cable is going to our ground. Also, our enclosure itself is grounded right here. So this containment is all grounded. We utilized our driver cables because they were already had our grounds extended and soldered and had the connections on them. That's all back in place. We switched out these 2-pin connectors for 3-pin connectors to make sure that we can pick up the shielding. I was picking up the shielding on the other enclosure, but it wasn't going through the enclosure and shielding, grounding and shielding the same way here. I actually picked up the shielding on the other side and brought it through the cabinet and then landed it on the ground. Also, we have the 5-volt individual power supply here. We have our power coming in. It separates on a connector here, or from a connector, which is soldered and heat shrunk. We split the neutrals. We power the 48-volt box, 120 to 48 volt, and then we power the 120 to 5-volt. But you can see here, another thing we have to do is set up our e-stop with our shielded cable. But that hopefully is going to be installed in our enclosure cover, which we have a little hole there. So we're going to not waste any more time here. I got my glasses. And we're going to see if we can get this cut. I'll set you guys up over here. I don't know if we're going to do a little higher aerial shot, or I could set you up guys right here. Let's see what works better. Maybe up here it works better. Let's see what happens, fellas, ladies and gents. So we got our compressor all pumped up. We're going to shut that off. We have our laptop plugged in. It is plugged in and will charge right now. So I'm not taking any precautions as far as that stuff like I was doing before, unplugging everything. So I want to see how we're going to make out here. I'm sure you're eager to see it as well. So we're running a 0.9 tip. We're at 50 psi and 40 amps, and our cut rate is the same as steel, which is like 2,000 millimeters per minute or something like that. So let's see how we're going to perform here with without the lid on the enclosure, but we have the metal enclosure. Let's see if we can get this cut out, and if we do, then we fixed it. If not, then we still got some more testing to do. Then we're going to put this cover on and then test it again, you know, with the cover on. we're going to ground this cover as well when we put it on. So some of the things that I did here is you'll see I incorporated some vent holes on the top, and they line up with the power supply on the top of the unit. And I also incorporated some venting on the bottom of the door as well. So we'll see how that works out. All right, let's give it a go and see what happens here. Let's make sure our torch is plugged in. We're good to go there. And I wanted to get a little bit of water just in case we got some warping, which I filled my table up. I'm hoping some water splashes up from underneath. I will get a piece of metal just in case I have to hold the aluminum down. So let's give it a go. Moment of truth. Like, get you guys a little closer here. That's our hole for our e-stop. So far, so good. These are relief bends. So far, so good. This is great. Way better than our last cut. So far, no interruptions. Very good. Another relief cut here. Another relief bend here. Now we should be doing our perimeter cut. This is looking amazing right now. All right. That's it. We'll put her on continuous jog. Get it out of the way. This looks phenomenal. Look at that. This is it. This is it. There's our door. That looks great. Keeping the water table up really high was the way to go. Look at the back portion of this. Let's get a scraper. Sorry for moving you guys around so much, but I'm really excited. So this turned out really good. This is coming, look at this, comes right off. Piece of cake. I mean, that is an awesome cut. I can't ask for anything more. I'll wipe my hands here a minute. I hope you guys are hearing me. This is I'm using the GoPro because the my phone storage is just too much. But look at that. A little scraping, and we got everything cleaned up. Let me see if I can turn these lights on behind me. See if that helps any. But there you have it. So this is going to be our door. Let's see if this stuff comes off. That comes right off, and it looks cool looking. These, I just put some vent holes in the bottom, some vent holes in the top. These vent holes line up with, they line up with our power supply, which is up here. I could have did it. See, they line up with our power supply right there. That's gonna go right there. Boom. So hopefully, fellas, ladies and gents, let's see if I could bend this up right now. I may need to get my bender. Not sure. But let's see. Let's try to set it up right here. And I got these funny looking gloves here. There we go. Oh, this looks great. So I was a little worried last time when I did bends on this aluminum. I was worried that it was going to break because I wasn't quite sure what type of aluminum I got originally from Fazio's, because some of that stuff is a little bit brittle and you can't really bend it. But this stuff here, look at the backside. This looks really good. Really good. This is our E-stop hole right there. Let's see if that fits. It's a little small. We're gonna have to open that up. So I believe I set that to 21 millimeters, but I think what I did was I measured just this back part, and I didn't measure the threads and everything. That's my fault. So, and another thing is I did not adjust the, I believe it's the kerf or the thickness of the plasma coming out. I did not adjust that, so that's much thinner, and right now it's set up for the tolerance of the, I think, 1.1 tip, so that might be why we are coming up small on this. But it does look round, it doesn't look oblong or anything like that. This looks really good. I'm really pleased with that. So I'm pretty sure I could put this in the vise right here and then just bend this, and then the rest is just follow suit. I don't think I could bend it by hand right now, although I might be able to get my benders out of my van and bend them that way. I have a set of benders for ductwork that might just work for this. So might be able to go over to the anvil over there and do something. I'd love to just bend this, but yeah, look at that. That stuff comes right off, no issues. Really clean cut. This is the front cut, and this is the back. I mean, this looks really good. I thought aluminum was going to be sloppy, because I've heard horror stories about cutting aluminum and how it explodes with the water, and I think there's a lot of BS going around with that, because this is great. This works perfect. You guys seen the cut, no interruptions. Super pleased with it. If I was to do this again, I'd make these, I'd probably make it bigger, this venting here, and make it longer, or at least make it longer. But it's something. I don't think we're going to be generating that kind of heat, and if we are, we're going to be dissipating it fairly quickly, because this is all aluminum, it's not metal. I don't see a problem with it. So we're going to bend this up and see how it fits on our enclosure. Hopefully I got the dimensions right. But guys, I mean, this is a huge step in the right direction. This is the first cut that I've done with the table grounded, the enclosure, all the buses, and all the shielded cable landed. And you guys seen for yourself, no interruptions whatsoever. I did notice, but this has nothing to do with what we're trying to correct with the EMI issue. I think we had the EMI issue licked. This is done. No more EMI. Once this is on and we ground the door, that's it. Our EMI stuff, we don't have to worry about that ever again. We're done. The table, it's complete. And if you guys do, I'm gonna redo your controller. I'd redo it exactly the way I have it. You know, the configuration doesn't have to be that way, but I would do an aluminum or metal enclosure. You can build it, or if this cover goes on the way I think it's going to go on, I can give you these files if you guys want them. I can make the adjustments to the holes and make the adjustments to the venting as well. I made this in FreeCAD, and then imported it to SheetCam, and then from SheetCam we brought it into Open Build, and there you go. It's a good product. This is nice. I'm happy with that. So there you have it. We're going to try and bend it up and put it on the enclosure, and yeah, and then we'll take some more video. But I do want to show you in this video what we did on the back side as far as the isolation. So on the back side here, you guys remember we had our aluminum kind of C-channel here coming off the table. But again, this box is isolated from this aluminum. On this, on the front side here of the C-channel, we have a rubber isolator. These are usually used for vibration. We use them in the HVAC industry to isolate vibration in air handlers. So I have one on the front and then one on the back, and then in the center we have the JD's Garage's sleeves, 3D printed sleeve. So there's one in the center of each of these, and that protects the all thread from hitting the aluminum that's hooked to the table. So this is completely separated now in terms of ground from the table itself. So look at that. That looks super nice. That looks great. Look at that. Oh yeah. And then one more look here. I think we solved it. We didn't get kicked off. We didn't have any freezing. The relays are hitting harder now. I'm hearing them really snap, and I'm pretty sure the way it was set up before with the daisy chaining, that signal and voltage was falling off. So fan just kicked on here, and I'm hoping this fan will push a little bit of the heat out from the top of those vents of the door. So everything is the same. I used the same isolation bank. The only difference before was JD's Garage was using only four of these isolators. We're now using 5. We had the Y2, and I think it was the X or something like that was doubled up on one of these isolators, which is, there's no more doubling up of anything. The only thing that's doubled up is the SVS, which is over here on the controller. That's the only thing that's double tapped in here from the controller. So that signal is being picked up from the isolator and brought back to that same spot. I don't think that's a huge deal. It's the signal going in. It's not the signal going out. Only input. But all of the outs are all individual. They're not doubled up. The 5 volt down here is no longer doubled up. None of this stuff down here is doubled up. All of these isolators are being fed from the 5 volt bus here, which is being fed by the 5 volt power supply now. You can see all the individual wires. Your 3V3 up here is all individual wires feeding the drivers, initiating the signal. So we are I'm calling this setup here bulletproof. And I hope JD's Garage actually sees this and runs with it. This is what needs to be done. I'm going to do some more intricate cutting. I'll set up another file, maybe a monogram. I know the monograms are pretty tough and they're very intricate and they take a little bit longer to cut. And it's those cuts that are problematic if they end up stopping midway, which we don't want. So it did take a little bit of time. I was up late night soldering, you know, redoing all these connections, soldering, heat shrinking. It took me a little bit of time to get this layout right because I didn't want a bunch of stuff overlapping. If you guys notice, I tried to keep all of the power up top and then all of the controls down the bottom. So power is from here up as far as the 48 volt and the 120. Our cord is a typical computer cord. This inlet here is fused, so it has a fuse inside there. It's a holder. It actually pulls out. So the box is fused. It doesn't have a switch on it just yet. I want to put something on there with a light. Kind of personal preference. Doesn't need to be that way. But this is it, guys. I think we figured it out, and I hope anybody out there that has problems or was having problems follows these videos, specifically the last few that I put out, and you can have yourself a reliable. Ladies and gents, last video cut out, but it actually worked out because I needed to bend the door, or the edges of the door, and this is what we came up with. So our edges are all bent. There you go. Pretty cool looking, right? There you go, that's the inside. And that's the outside, which we have our vent holes there, our vent holes down the bottom, and our e-stop button. Now I will say that when I set the box up and had the bend lines, I had very little aluminum. I only had about 3/4 of an inch of aluminum that I left on the edges here and the bottom, and that bent very easily. This, on the other hand, was not so easy. As you can see, I believe I left 150 millimeters, which is roughly, I don't know, 5 inches or so. And then about 3 inches here. This is only about 100 millimeters. And that is too much to bend. The ends, not so much. And I think what needs to happen here is this 100 millimeters needs to be probably distributed the same as this. So this is probably, you know, a 1/2 inch here and a 1/2 inch here. And then we could probably do another 1/2 inch tab here, and that would be enough. And even that would be enough to bend and still, you know, bend not easy, but not too hard either. This here, I think I'm going to redo the door, because this was hard to bend here. Again, this came up to 150 millimeters, which I think is about 5 inches or so, which we could check here. Yeah, it's about 5 inches. So that's too much. That 5 inches needs to be distributed in probably 1/2 or 3/4 inch tabs, you know, every like 3 inches, you know, a 1/2 inch tab. So that's what we're going to do. What I'll do is I'll start out with, I'll keep these 2 tabs here. I'll eliminate this. I'll just keep one in the middle, and then I'll split it again and again. So I have this, I'm able to do this fairly quickly. So I'm not worried about redoing it. It won't take me long. Shouldn't take up a lot of aluminum either. Not a big deal. Again, I don't care if I blow through 5 sheets of this stuff. This is great. It's cutting great. And if we can refine the door, even better. Again, this was a hell of a bend to do. And if you could see, it kind of rolled the edges more than I wanted to, and it closed it up more. So instead of me having like a true 1/2 inch lip, I end up with a much fatter lip here, as you can see. So it doesn't take much. I had it, the tolerance is pretty tight, but once I did the bend, it kind of gave me the 1/2 inch plus the 1/8 of the material plus a little bit of gap. It's a little heavy on the 5/8, so that's not what I accounted for. And with that being said, you can see the bottom bent and the top bent a little too much, more than I wanted it to, and it closed up my length a little too much. It closed it up by 1/8. So when we go put the cover on, which I may still keep it, I don't know, it's not that critical now. I can always cut it whenever and mess with the drawing. I do want to mess with the drawing and get it right, just in case you guys want the file, then it's already set to go. So, or if you want me to cut it and you want to buy a box, whatever. or you could just buy a box. Not a big deal, right? So this needs a little bit of adjusting. You can see it's gonna cover the side just like that. It's gonna cover the top, but unfortunately we closed it up a little too much down the bottom. I can bring it down, my hands are under it. I could straighten this out more. And look, I am an eighth too much, too close up too much. So it'll go around the sides. You know, it'll swallow the box just fine. And this will work too. I'll just have to notch the bottoms here, right there, and right there. And then the bottom will actually sit inside here. And then this will sit on top, which is not a big deal. Again, I could put some set screws in the top and bottom, and this box will be just fine. Again, I really did a quick job of it last night, just to get it bent. Does it need to be this thick? Absolutely not. It could be much thinner, and it'd be much easier to work with. I have this metal here. If this was in aluminum, this would probably be perfect to bend up. Much easier. You could probably do this on a Harbor Freight bender as well, which I wouldn't mind having a little press brake in here, which I might actually grab one from like Harbor Freight or something like that, or I'll look on the marketplace. But that's the end of this video. It's actually the next day that I'm picking up this video, or the next night I should say, finishing it off and editing. So we're gonna put this video together right now with the ones from yesterday, showing the cutting and all that, and then we'll put another file together and we'll cut some more aluminum and we'll take some videos of that. I'm going to be shooting some stuff on the GoPro now, since my phone is pretty much maxed out. And hopefully you get a little better quality video out of this. And I'm glad you guys stuck around. If you can, shoot me a like or subscribe, and we'll keep cutting some metal and doing some other projects too. I have some other videos I want to upload. I have a log splitter that I upgraded with a big Predator motor and a big 22 GPM pump, which absolutely kicks ass now. So I have to edit that video as well. That was done a while ago, but I need to get that uploaded so you guys can check it out. But let me know if you guys want this file. And yeah, hope this helps. I bet it did, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that was having problems here. So like, subscribe, hang around. We'll cut some stuff. We'll build some things. We'll mess around with some bikes. We're doing all kinds of projects around here all the time. I just never film them. But now we're going to start to. And get everybody checking it out. Take care.